Hello friends, you are welcome in video lecture series on plant anatomy syllabus. So today I am going to discuss the remaining part of the epidermal tissue system. So last time I have discussed the first two components of epidermal tissue system. So for our convenience, this epidermal tissue system is divided into three components or three parts. Number one, epidermis and cuticle. Number two, specialized cells of epidermis which can be studied under the heading of stomata. And third component of this epidermal tissue system is epidermal outgrowths or various appendages arising from the epidermis. So today we are going to see, I am going to discuss today these various appendages of epidermis which are studied under the heading of epidermal outgrowths. So these epidermal outgrowths are classified into three categories. Number one, trichomes. Number two, emergences. And number three, root hairs. So one by one I am going to discuss these trichomes, emergences and root hairs as an example of these various epidermal outgrowths. So this trichome is a Greek term. Actual meaning of this term is growth of an hair. That means any hairy appendage arising from the epidermis of various organs of the plants are commonly called as trichomes. So these trichomes are further classified into these two categories, non-glandular trichomes and glandular trichomes. So first is the name of anatomists who classified or categorized these various trichomes into these two categories on the basis of nature of the trichome and morphological nature of trichome, as well as having the ability of secretion or not having the ability of secretion. So if the trichomes are not having ability of secretions of any kind of substances, then these trichomes are studied under the heading of non-glandular trichomes. Another kind of trichomes are studied under the heading of glandular trichomes. So these glandular trichomes are mostly having the power of secretion of different types of secretory compounds. So first category of trichome is a non-glandular trichome. So these trichomes are any kind of appendages. It may be glandular, it may be non-glandular. They are arising from the epidermis of various organs of the plants. These trichomes may be unicellular or multicellular structures. The trichomes may be living or dead structures. The trichomes may be permanent or temporary structures. That means some trichomes are short-lived. They remain on the plant organs for very short duration, while another kind of trichomes remain throughout the life of the plant on the particular organs or different organs of the plant body. That means they may be unicellular or multicellular. They may be living or they may be dead. They may be temporary or they may be permanent structures. So these non-glandular trichomes are further classified into two categories: unicellular trichomes and multicellular trichomes. So these are the examples of unicellular trichome: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So in this first example, Gossypium. In the stem of Gossypium, the trichomes are long, they are thick walled and made up of only one cell or single cell. Next type of trichome which are found in lantana. So in lantana, leaf as well as stem possess two types of trichomes. Glandular trichomes are also there, non-glandular trichomes are also there. So this non-glandular trichomes in stem of this lantana, they are smaller in size and they are having thick nature. That means they are sharp one, thick one, and they are small in size as compared to this trichomes found in Gossypium. Then third kind of trichome, they are found in Cassia. They are also example of, this is also example of unicellular trichome. In Cassia also, trichomes are made up of only one cell and they are very small size. Then next trichome which are found in this Cannabis sativa, these trichomes are commonly called as hooked hairs. That means the terminal end of this trichome is showing hook-like appearance. That's why these trichomes are commonly also studied under the heading of hooked hairs. Next, trichomes are found in globularia, which is also example of unicellular trichome. These trichomes are showing English letter T-like appearance. That means this hair or trichome are commonly called as T-shaped hairs. So these are the examples of unicellular trichomes. Trichomes in cannabis, trichomes in gossypium, trichomes in lantana, trichomes in cassia. So not only these 5 plants are showing the trichomes, so many examples are available. But we have limitation. How much example we have to take? We have to study. So various plants possess various types of trichomes. So out of these various types of trichomes, unicellular trichomes are found in some plants like gossypium, lantana, cassia, cannabis, etc. as well as globularia, etc. Then this another category of trichome is known as multicellular trichomes. So the multicellular trichomes, word itself indicates its name. Why these trichomes are known as multicellular trichomes? So the trichomes are made up of many cells. That's why they are known as multicellular trichomes. So multicellular trichomes are further classified into 2 categories, namely multicellate trichomes and unicellate trichomes. So these are the 2 examples of multicellular trichome. For example, if we observe the again Lantana indica. In Lantana indica, the trichome is made up of many cells. That means this is an example of multicellular trichome. Why it is known as multicellate trichome? Because this single trichome, which is made up of many cells, it is made up of more than 1 rows of cells. That means this is 1 row of cell, this is another row of cell. That means more than 1 rows of cells are involved in the organization of such trichome. That's why these trichomes in Lantana indica are commonly called as a multicellate trichomes. Another example of multicellate trichome is found in Portulaca. In Portulaca also, the trichomes shows more than 1 rows of cells. Many cells are involved in the organization of such trichomes, and in this trichome also many rows of cells are there. That's why they are also called as multicellular, multicellate type of trichomes. Then another type of trichomes can be studied under the heading of multicellular unicellate type of trichome. So first example of this multicellular unicellate trichome. What is the meaning of unicellate? When trichome is made up of only 1 row of cells, no doubt they are also multicellular trichome. But when they are made up of only 1 row of cells, then such kind of trichomes are commonly called as unicellate multicellular trichomes. So for example, in Tridax procumbens as well as in sunflower. So many examples are available in nature in which such kind of multicellular hairs or multicellular trichomes are observed. In Tridax, trichome is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cells which are placed one above the other. That's why they are known as multicellular unicellate trichome. Next example is Withania. In Withania, trichome is also made up of 1 row of cells, but this trichome shows more or less the tree-like appearance. That's why these trichomes are commonly called as dendroid hairs. So these trichomes are known as dendroid hairs. Then in Cyda as well as in hibiscus leaf also, if we observe the trichomes or hairs, these trichomes are showing star-like appearance. That's why they are known as stellate hair. Then another kind of trichome which are found in Olea. Many examples are there, but in Olea, the trichomes are showing flat structure. That means the trichome is made up of many cells, no doubt, but they are flat. That means these trichomes are made up of many cells. These many cells are mounted on the central discoid plate, and such type of trichomes are commonly known as peltate trichomes. That means these trichomes use plate-like appearance. That means many cells are mounted on the central disc. That's why they are known as peltate trichomes, because of their plate-like appearance. So these are the examples of various types of non-glandular, unicellular and multicellular trichomes. The next category of trichome is studied under the heading of glandular trichomes. So word itself indicates that the trichomes which are glandular in nature. What is the meaning of gland? Gland is a structure which is made up of single cell structure or multi-celled structure, and this is having the power of secretion of some secretory substances. So these glandular trichomes may be unicellular, they may be multicellular, and these trichomes possess the two parts. In each glandular trichome, generally two parts are there. The basal portion is narrow one, which is commonly called as foot region, and apical portion is known as head region or gland region. So this multicellular gland is having the power of secretion of various types of secretory components, and basal foot region is narrower as compared to the apical region. So these are some of the examples of glandular hairs or glandular trichomes. Number one, ossimum. If we take the ossimum leaf and take the transverse section of leaf and observe under microscope, ossimum leaf possesses two types of trichomes: multicellular non-glandular trichomes as well as glandular trichomes. So these glandular trichomes in ossimum leaf, they are present somewhat in depression in the epidermis layer. These trichomes are very small in size. They are looking button-like appearance. That means these trichomes, glandular hairs in ossimum, are having short stalk and button-like terminal head or gland, which is able to secrete the essential aromatic oil. That means due to secretion of this essential aromatic oil by these trichomes, if we crush the leaf of ossimum and take the smell, it gives specific smell. So smell in this ossimum leaf is due to this glandular hairs or glandular trichomes in ossimum leaf, which are able to secrete the essential aromatic oil. That's why we observe the smell in this ossimum leaf. Next type of trichome, glandular trichomes, are found in tobacco. In tobacco leaf as well as stem, trichomes are multicellular. This is the head region, this is the base region, narrow region or foot region. So this head region is made up of many cells, and these cells are having the power of secretion. That's why these trichomes are also studied under the heading of glandular hairs or glandular trichomes. Another example is Urtica dioica. In this Urtica leaf, the trichomes secrete some poisonous substances. So basal bulbous portion of this trichome is known as a gland, and apical portion is a stinging tip. So middle portion or apical region of this stinging hairs is narrow one. Basal bulbous portion is actual gland. So this apical region or tip region is made up of silicified material. If grazing animals try to eat the leaves of this urtica, this apical tip bursts and gland exudes the poisonous chemical substances which causes irritation of animal skin. That's why grazing animals don't try to eat the leaves of such plant like urtica. The next example is Drosera leaves. In the Drosera leaves, the epidermis of the Drosera leaf bears many hairy appendages. So each hairy appendage is commonly called as tentacle. So tip of each tentacle is wine red in color. It secretes glistening drop. Due to this glistening drop, insects get attracted towards this glistening drop. When insects are attracted towards this glistening drop secreted by the gland which is present at the tip of the tentacle, these hairs or hairy appendages arising from the epidermis of the Drosera leaf, they are sensitive to touch, and when insects comes in contact with these hairy appendages, these hairy appendages get closed and death of the insect takes place due to suffocation. And proteins which are naturally present in the insect body, they are digested by the enzymes, proteolytic enzymes or protein digestive enzymes, which are secreted by this tentacles tip or gland. That means these hairs in Drosera leaf are also examples of glandular hairs, glandular hairs, which are secreting the proteolytic enzymes or protein digestive enzymes. The next example of glandular trichome is Boerhaavia diffusa. In Boerhaavia also, multicellular trichomes are there. So in this trichome or glandular hair, there is a apical head known as gland, actual gland, which is having the power of secretion, and basal portion is embedded in the plant part. It is known as basal portion or fruit region. So these are the examples of glandular trichomes. Then second component of this epidermal outgrowths is studied under the heading of emergencies. So this is an example of prickles of rose. So these emergencies are hard, thick appendages arising from the stems of some plants, for example rose. So prickles found in the rose, they are sharp and thick one. This is the defense mechanism of this plant. That means in order to protect the plant from its enemy, these prickles plays important role. So there is a difference between prickles and spines. These prickles are arising from the epidermis. Spines are arising from the cortex or hypodermis. They are having vascular supply. Prickles are not having vascular supply. If we touch this prickle, easily it can be removed from the stem. That means this is the difference between the prickles and thorns or spines. The next example is, next category of the epidermal appendages can be studied under the heading of root hairs. So if we take any root and take the transverse section of root from apical region of the root only, we can observe the various hairy appendages arising from the epidermis of the root. So these hairy appendages arising from the outer wall of the epidermis of root, commonly known as epiblema, are the examples of also epidermal outgrowths. So these root hairs bearing cells, this is the magnified portion of this epiblema or epidermis of root. It shows the root hair arising from this cell. So cell shows the root hairs. They are generally shorter than the neighboring cells, which are not showing the root hairs. So these cells are commonly called as trichoblast cell. These cells remain short, thick due to synthesis or production of plastic pectic acid by the inner wall of the root hair bearing cell or trichoblast. So this plastic pectic acid synthesized or secreted by this cell is converted into plastic pectic acid. Plastic pectic acid is converted into hard calcium pectate. So this calcium pectate layer doesn't allow the further growth of this cell. So if we observe this root hair shows prominent nucleus, dense cytoplasm, etc. That means it is a living cell, and this outer wall of this trichoblast cell or root epidermis cell, it extends and forms the hairy appendage, which is commonly studied under the heading of root hairs. So we know very well what is the function of root hair. So root hair plays important role in the absorption of mineral nutrients and water from the soil and supplying to the different organs of the plants. So that's all about the various types of epidermal outgrowths. Then I am going to discuss the last part of this tissue system, the functions of epidermal tissue system. So there are 10 different functions performed by this epidermal tissue system. So first basic function, important function of the epidermis or epidermal tissue system is protection of inner tissues from mechanical injury or entry of the pathogens, etc. That means this continuous layer of epidermis, which makes the epidermal tissue system perform the main function of protection of inner tissues from mechanical injury, entry of pathogens, etc. The second function of epidermal tissue system is checking the rate of transpiration. Especially, the epidermis is covered with another coating known as cuticle layer. So this cuticle is a additional layer of fatty substance. Due to presence of this cuticle and epidermis layer, in some plants, cuticle becomes thick one. For example, in xerophytes, some plants epidermis is multi-layer and cuticle is thick one. In some plants, epidermis is covered with waxy coating. So due to presence of thick cuticle, multiple epidermis, various types of epidermal appendages, waxy coating, in some plants, in most of the plants, epidermis is covered with thin cuticle, not thick cuticle, except xerophyte, cuticle is thin one. So this cuticle and epidermis layer also plays important role in reducing or checking the rate of transpiration, especially in xerophytic plants. Multilayered epidermis, thick cuticle, waxy coating plays important role in checking the rate of transpiration. Then epidermis also take part in the process of transpiration. So we know very well the amount of water which is absorbed by the roots is not completely or totally utilized by the plant for its metabolic processes. So excess amount of water is thrown outside from plant organs, especially aerial organs. So especially leaves. So leaves possess which organ? We know very well. Epidermis possess minute openings in the form of stomata. So this stomata plays important role in the transpiration process. That means removal of water in the form of vapors during daytime is commonly called as transpiration. And due to this transpiration from aerial organs of the plants, excessive amount of water is evaporated or thrown outside in the form of vapors during daytime. That means the epidermal tissue system also plays important role in the process of transpiration also. Then gases exchange. So again, this stomata. Another function performed by this stomata is to take part in exchange of gases. That means the minute apertures in the form of stomata, which are found in aerial organs of the plants, especially in the leaves, as well as stems, herbaceous stems, plays important role in the exchange of gases like O2 and CO2. So this O2 is essential by each and every living cell for cell respiration, and CO2, which is taken by the leaves of higher plants or green plants, which is utilized during the process of photosynthesis. That means during the process of photosynthesis, O2 is produced as a byproduct, end product, and this O2 which is produced during the photosynthesis process, it is thrown outside from the leaf in the environment in the form of oxygen. So in such a way, aerial organs of the plants, due to presence of stomata, take part in exchange of gases like O2 and CO2. Then next function is protection from grazing animals. So in some plants, for example, in this plant, Urtica dioica. So in this Urtica, leaf possess stinging hairs which secretes poisonous substances, and these poisonous substances causes irritation of animal skin and save the plant from grazing animals. So in this plant, Urtica, main function of this stinging hair is the protection of plant from grazing animals. It is defense mechanism. So another plants also protect itself. For example, emergencies in rose or prickles in rose, they play an important role in protecting the plant from its enemies. So another plants are not having these emergencies or stinging hairs. They are having various hairy appendages which are helpful for protecting the plants. The next function performed by the epidermal tissue system is photosynthesis. Generally, photosynthetic cells are present in the leaves. They are known as palisade tissue and spongy tissue. But epidermis is lacking photosynthesis. But in some plants, for example, in shade-loving plants, epidermis layer also possesses photosynthetic pigments. And in these shade-loving plants, epidermal tissue system or epidermis layer, due to presence of chlorophyll pigments, also take part in the process of photosynthesis. Then next function is absorption. So especially the root hairs which are found in the epidermis of the root plays important role in the absorption of water and nutrients which are dissolved in the water from the soil. Then secretion. In some plants, the glandular hairs are present. These glandular hairs are involved in the secretion of various types of secretory substances. That means in some plants, due to presence of such glandular hairs or glandular trichomes, epidermal tissue system also take part in the process of secretion. Next function is healing of wounds. So if any plant organ, it may be stem, it may be leaf, it may be branch, may get wounded due to natural forces like high wind velocity, there is a breaking of branches, there is also possibility of tearing of leaf lamina, as well as due to some grazing animals, due to some human activities, wound formation is very common thing. If formation of wound takes place in plants, the healing of the wound takes place naturally. That means if epidermis get wounded, then there is a possibility of desiccation. That means excessive loss of water, as well as also there is a possibility of entry of microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, fungal spores, viruses, etc. So in order to prevent the desiccation, in order to prevent the entry of pathogens and protect the inner tissues, the epidermis, when it gets injured, at that time the epidermal cells in that wounded region acquires the power of cell division secondarily and redivide and produces the new protective layer. That means healing of wounds takes place naturally in any organ. It may be root, it may be stem. Healing of wound takes place if plant body or plant organs get wounded. It is beneficial for protecting the plants. The last function is rolling of leaves. So in case of desert grasses, there is a scarcity of water. What is not available in the soil in adequate quantity, as well as water which is thrown outside by the plant should be saved because of scarcity of water. That means during the process of transpiration, if leaves becomes exposed, leaves becomes expanded, remains as it is, there is a possibility of more transpiration. But in the desert grasses, some desert grasses like Poya, Ammophila, etc., due to presence of the motor cells, specialized cells in the epidermis known as motor cells or bulliform cells, they expels water when atmospheric temperature increases. They expels water suddenly, and these cells, commonly called as motor cells, they shrink and automatically leaves get rolled. That means such rolling of leaves takes place in desert grasses like Poya, Ammophila due to presence of such motor cells. That means motor cells in desert grasses plays important role in rolling of leaves. If leaves becomes rolled, automatically the surface area which is exposed to the sunlight is reduced and automatically rate of transpiration is checked or reduced. So that's all about the functions of this epidermal tissue system. Okay, thank you.